Hi, my name is Chris Carter. I'm the president of Candela Strategies. Welcome to our booth here at ENCC-X, our virtual booth. Just to give you a bit of background over who Candela is, what makes us very unique, and we'll talk momentarily about being campaign first, as it gives us a good insight into kind of showing how we approach things and what makes us different. But we are a full service fundraising and marketing agency. And what that means is we're not just here to do just digital or just do direct mail or just do an audit for you. As we're full service, we are focused very much on doing the analysis, understanding who your target audiences are, and then building the right program. And that means that we're not just leveled to one approach. As we know, a lot of things has happened in the last few months. Different programs have gone up and down. You couldn't do events like you used to. For example, major giving has changed significantly. However, a lot of more traditional methods, which may have been ignored, such as direct mail, have started to actually have a real increase in response rate. So we're here to guide you in terms of building the right program, regardless of what it is. So that means it could be digital, it could be direct mail. Ideally, it's a combination of multiple different factors based on what the best return of investments and what the best results are. Not driven by who we are as an agency, but very much focused on your audience and what your needs are and what are going to be getting the most revenue for you. So one of the things that we like to talk a lot about is being campaign first. And this is very much taking a step back. Lots of agencies, lots of organizations, and lots of fundraising and marketing discussions are very focused on channels. Digital actually is a channel. Direct mail is a channel. Telemarketing is a channel. So we need to take a step back and realize that donors themselves are not siloed oriented. They are going to respond for what works for them, and they're going to interact with you in many different ways. And they aren't going to think, oh, this is the events portal over here. This is the volunteer list. Oh, this is the direct mail. No, they're going to think of you as one organization. So we go through these 10 steps, how to begin. The first step is obviously do your research. Understand who your target is. If you're reaching out predominantly to Generation X's, not including direct mail in the mix, but also not including digital would be a big problem. Similarly, if boomers or older demographics are really your focus, things that may have been seen, they're not necessarily as fun, but they will have a better response than doing stuff like Facebook, etc., that would be targeted at Generation X's and younger. So from that, after you've done a full analysis and understanding of who your target is, we like to build personas, that's step 2. That's really getting a representation of who your particular target demographic is. Then really focused on clarifying your message. Often there's lots of very internal speak that happens with messaging. Once you have an understanding, you need to pause and think, what is the impact? How are people making a difference? In these troubling times, demonstrating impact and giving people an opportunity to kind of take charge of things and make a difference is crucial. So clarifying your message is a fundamental point. Fourth point is really think about determining your goals and metrics. Lots of people will look at branding, come up with ideas, launch marketing campaigns without actually pausing and thinking, what are the 5 things I want to tune? Am I increasing the number of donors? Am I increasing the number of leads? Am I driving people to my website? Really understanding what your goals and your metrics are right at the beginning, and that way you can evaluate at the end. Also, budget and timelines. Determining your campaign, like is it, what is the level, how long is this going for? Next is then really understanding your mix. Going back to the original discussion about who your audience is, ideally you should have thematic integration, but also the right mix of channels. As many as possible, particularly based on what works for that demographic. But thinking about direct mail, a lot of organizations who have kept on in the current environment, kept doing direct mail, are finding very significant response. So digital is often very straightforward in a sense of being a front and center. Yes, we need to do email. Yes, we need to do social media. But starting to think about some of the other channels, you'll be surprised when you are starting to think this way. Digital has actually been flooded in a sense. People's inboxes are being full. There's been periods, often for weeks and months, everyone's at home, and other channels are watching TV like no tomorrow. They're going to different websites. People are really focused on receiving things in the mail. So just understanding that things have changed and how you can interact with people has changed. So some traditional methods are actually even stronger nowadays. Next is then write and design your creative. Have that thematic integration. Think about what your overall messaging is, regardless of the channel. Have the same thing. Then deploy the campaign, do some testing. Maybe you would say, you know, we think this might work a bit differently with this approach. Maybe it's a different ask. Maybe you're just doing leads with this, and then maybe this one you're doing a direct test to donations. Maybe you're doing a different type of donation. Maybe you're asking for a monthly versus a single gift, etc. So really do some basic testing, and then you'll have a review, revise, and repeat. And typically we use this approach for kind of seasonal campaigns. So it may be an end of year or holiday, but it could be an ongoing campaign. It could just be, this is us as an organization, and we're going to have a multi-channel campaign, really focused across the board, getting messaging really clear so that people understand who we are. And this just establishes a great way of how you can go about your fundraising and marketing with this 10-step approach. And that very much sums up just how we think about organizations and how we think about fundraising and marketing. So thank you very much for visiting us and for getting to know us a bit better. Please feel free to drop me a line here. This is my email address, ccarter@candelastrategies.com. Thank you again, and I hope you have a great rest of your ENCC-X.